Hello Pisces, welcome to your 2017 forecast. The year may begin as though it's not really moving very fast. And this is partially going to be because Mercury, the planet that rules transportation, communications, technology, is still going to be retrograde until the 9th of January. So try not to get frustrated if you feel as though things just aren't moving forward very rapidly, and just use that time to reflect, to reassess things in your life, and to relax a little bit. This particular Mercury retrograde is in your 10th house, and many of you have been concerned about your career. Some concerns, some restructuring been going on. And this is a wonderful time to reflect upon your work and what it is that you want to do in the world. What it is you want to say, what it is you want to communicate. This is a wonderful time for just thinking about it rather than taking action. After the middle of January, then is the time to go ahead full steam. At the end of the video, there's a full long list of all the dates and things that I'm going to mention in this video. So please relax, sit back and enjoy everything. Now the eclipses this year are in February and in August. And the first eclipse on February the 10th is a lunar eclipse. And this is happening for you, Pisces, in your house of work and health. And a lunar eclipse always shines a light in this area. So it could bring something to fruition, something being successful. Remember that the eclipses last their energy for at least 6 months afterwards. So it may unfold over the months. And as well, in this 6th house, there could be some changes in the workplace. Maybe changes as to where you work, changes as to the remit of what it is you're going to be doing. Well, you may decide to leave your workplace and maybe set out on your own, or to try to find something different. Whatever happens, that lunar eclipse is likely to bring some changes, and very often much needed changes, to your work area. And the same goes for health. It's shining a light on your diet, your exercise, what you're thinking about your physical being, your emotions, just shining a light and giving you an opportunity to make some changes if needed. Now on the 26th of February, we have got a solar eclipse, wait for this Pisces, in your sign. Beautiful, in your first house. And solar eclipses are always a time of new beginnings. Some exciting new seeds being planted. And for you, with it being in your sign, Pisces, this is new beginnings about you. What is it you want for yourself this year? What do you want financially? What do you want in your relationships? Would you like to travel? Would you like to meet some new people and create a whole new social network around you? This is the trigger. This solar eclipse is triggering you to say to yourself, this is a new chapter in my life. What is it I want to create? It's like a wonderful gift that's being given to you with that solar eclipse in your sign from the 26th of February. Now the big news this year is that Venus, the planet that rules your finances and your love, your relationships, is going to go retrograde from the 6th of March until the 15th of April. And for you, this retrograde is in your financial house and also retrograding into your first house. So what does this mean? Well, first of all, it's going to be important, if you can help it, not to buy big ticket items during that retrograde in your second house. Because sometimes there's something you don't like it anymore. So if you do buy something that's, expensive, keep the receipts, keep the warranties, just in case you change your mind after April 15th. It's a really great time for re-evaluating your finances, how you spend money, what you're doing with money, and it could be a good time for closing a deal. Now that can happen during a retrograde of Venus if you've started the negotiations for the deal before the retrograde, before March 6th. As it retrogrades into your first house as well, Pisces, this would not be a good time to have any kind of surgery that is cosmetic. Anything that is aesthetic, not a good time during Venus retrograde, because very often it just doesn't turn out the way you had hoped, or it has to be redone. And of course, same with anything to do with anything physical. So if you're going to get your hair completely restyled or recolored, think again during those dates, because chances are it won't come out exactly as you're hoping. So you might as well just avoid those dates and do it afterwards or before. Also with that Venus in your first house, it's important to really reevaluate, am I loving myself? Pisces, very often you don't put yourself in the picture. It's always about everybody else and what they need. This Venus is about really reflecting and loving yourself, giving yourself that tender-heartedness that you have, that nurturing, that loving energy, that gentleness. Make sure you're giving it to yourself. We've got another Mercury retrograde, April 9th until May 3rd, and that's happening for you here. It's going from, Mercury retrograde is going from Taurus Taurus here, back into Aries. So from your third to your second house, Mercury retrogrades, my head goes a little fuzzy. Again, a re-evaluation of your finances, maybe some shake-ups with your finances. Maybe it's time to do things differently financially. If something's not been working, Uranus there is going to give you some new ideas. Might need to do it differently, might need to try something new to create the kind of income and prosperity that maybe you're looking for. On August 7th, we've got a lunar eclipse happening here in your 12th house. A lunar eclipse is shining a light for you, Pisces, on your spiritual side, your internal life. Yes, everything going on externally, relationships, money, all those things. This is an opportunity to go inwards, to find important answers from within rather than from without. It's going to be a wonderful time to pursue anything to do with astrology, tarot, numerology, all these metaphysical subjects. You might find yourself getting into aliens and UFOs, past lives. There's all kinds of ways this can manifest, but certainly anything that is unseen will become even more important to you. We've got another Mercury retrograde between August 12th and September 5th. And this happening here for you in your relationship area and your work area. So it's going to be a very important time to reevaluate relationships. Maybe to have some serious conversations. A conversation where you really listen to one another. You might even find yourself mediating a situation so that you can bring peace and harmony back again. And as it retrogrades into the 6th house, an opportunity to reflect on your work, what you're doing in your daily life, how you're spending your time, and maybe making some changes if necessary. On August 21st, we have got a solar eclipse happening in your work area. New beginnings for your work. New opportunities, maybe a promotion, maybe a shift of focus for you with your work. It's a wonderful time for reaching out, stepping out into some new areas. And it's also very good for health, any new beginnings, maybe a new diet, maybe a new exercise program, maybe a new activity that you do that you really enjoy. Maybe you're going to start dancing. That really just brings an uplift to your step and to your energy levels. Whenever I talk about Mercury retrograde, I've had a few technical problems during these videos, so please forgive me. I'm just checking that it's still recording. Now, until October 10th, we've got Jupiter in this 8th house. This can bring you some benevolent finances, funding from somebody else. Could be an organization, could be somebody investing in you, could be a grant, a scholarship, might even win a competition. And also with that Jupiter there, it can mean that your partner's finances expand, grow. Your partner may get some really good opportunities. And then on the 11th of October, Jupiter going into your 9th house. Jupiter in the 9th, bringing you opportunities for travel, bringing you opportunities to expand your horizon. You might meet somebody from overseas, make some friends. You might travel a lot. It's also a wonderful time for studying for some higher education, and a very good time for publishing, for getting something out. If you've got that book, Jupiter's going to really push you out there and bring some new opportunities for you. So really that's going to be an interesting place for it, and really expanding your mental horizon as well as your physical things. So really expanding the way you see things, seeing more possibility rather than difficulties and things or obstacles. Seeing that you are unlimited and that there is nothing you cannot achieve. And between December 3rd and 22nd, we've got that final Mercury retrograde up here in the 10th house. So you start the year with that Mercury retrograde in the 10th, and we end the year with Mercury retrograde in the 10th. And so with so much focus on the 10th house, it's really going to be an opportunity for you to restructure your career, your work in some way that will be more positive for you. So that Mercury retrograde, it's an important year to reflect and to reassess again at the end of the year how you've done, how you feel before moving forward into 2018. And finally, last but not least, you've had Saturn, you will have Saturn all 2017 almost in the 10th house. So many of you have gone through endings, maybe some challenging times with your career, some completions, and also some restructuring of your career, your work. And then from December 20th, this Saturn now moves into your 11th house. And Saturn in the 11th house is going to involve a restructuring of your friends. Some of them may drop away. Maybe it's time just to let go, to release friendships that are just no longer as close as they were. But it's also a wonderful time for really hanging on to the ones that are deeply important to you, and maybe, if necessary, releasing all of them to create something new, something that you're really wanting, because you're going to be changing so much with that solar eclipse in your sign in February. There's going to be just so many shifts this year of you really coming out, finding yourself, really blossoming and flowering. So as this is a time often of celebration and gift giving, you might want to consider giving a gift of a unique painting to a friend or a loved one that is based upon their date, time and place of birth. Or maybe you'd even like to get one done for yourself as a special treat. I really want to thank so many of you for being so encouraging, so supportive all year. I love doing these videos. I really feel as though I'm connecting with you personally. And I just want to wish you a wonderful 2017.